All right, I think we're getting ready to start here. I'm getting thousands of texts saying, hey, Mike, be careful, you're live. So that's a good thing. I want to welcome everybody to, this year's been a year of first. Can I get an amen? Many of those first have been challenging. Many of those first have been we powered through and created some new experiences. So this is kind of continuing in that trend. Tonight, we're going to break this down, hopefully in a couple of two parts, if the technology will support us. I'm going to do kind of a quick roll through 2020, kind of as this slide reveals, kind of a quick look in the rearview mirror of 2020, talk briefly about how we're going to get started in 21. And then we're going to take a quick pause, and I'm going to be joined by Eric Prill, VP of Road Racing, and Deanna Flanagan, Director of Road Racing, and we're going to give out some great awards and recognition. So we're going to try to do this as kind of a 1-2 punch tonight. Thank you in advance for your grace and support and understanding. We're coming to you live from SCCA Studio in Topeka, Kansas. And if a fire marshal could see my office right now, given all of the cords and lights and everything else that's going on in here, we'd probably be in trouble. So please don't text anybody or report us. But let's get rolling. So how did we start the year? Well, we started the year with this as kind of our mantra. This was from convention: one team, one experience. You know, I guess this is maybe prophetic in a way, because it certainly took us operating as one team to get through the one experience that was 2020, right? Our mission, what were we focused on? What will we continue to be focused on? Well, we're going to continue to focus on providing a safe, fun, and exciting experience for auto enthusiasts. That's our mission. That's where we were headed with great momentum out of January, out of convention. And then shift happened. Yes, we lost probably anywhere north of 750 plus events at a national level or regional level, divisional level, et cetera, over the next 90 to 120 days. That required an immediate pivot and immediate shift to kind of a business continuity plan kind of thinking. And as we worked through all of this, really, I worked with the board, we worked with the board, staff worked with the board to really kind of focus in on what was mission critical, what was most important. We didn't have a vital few, we actually had a vital one. The vital one was we wanted to make sure that we managed the business smartly amid COVID such that the SCCA made it through its 76th year and in fact was a viable operating entity on 12/31/20 going forward. Might sound a little dramatic, might sound a little scary, but if I'd ask you to kind of think back to your March, your February, your March, your April, your May, and how fast things were coming at you 24/7, 365 with regard to COVID, the lockdowns, the shelter in place, the changes, et cetera. There was a lot going on, as I'm sure you'll recognize and agree. So that was really the goal. So I want to do a report out on how we performed this year based on that goal. But to get us to that point, some of the things that we did very quick in that pivot. Number one, we collaborated with the regions and with the local health agencies and with the CDC to basically get information that we could publish tied to our programs and provide COVID mitigation strategies for all of our programs. I think that was probably published on or around March 26th. On March 28th, that very weekend, even though we had just gone through reduction in staff, furloughs, reduction in compensation for staff, all kinds of things, none of which were good. That weekend, we launched the first ever SCCA Esports Super Tour. I believe that one was at Summit Point, and I think that was on 3/28. And then we followed up. That was basically a testing ground for the first ever Hoosier Super SCCA Esports Super Tour, which I think began around 4/4. That race series had more race groups. It was a 7-race schedule, and it included support from Hoosier Racing Tire, as well as the great voices, which I wish I could emulate, of Larry McLeod and Greg Ginsberg. And behind the scenes, a host of staff and volunteers behind the drapes to make stuff work. So hats off and thank you to all of them. Around the same time period, on March 31st, we announced a partnership with Global Time Attack and Grid Life, and we launched a North American hashtag support motorsport initiative. And that concept was really designed to deliver an invitation to motorsports enthusiasts across the country, to ask them to support their hobby, their passion, their love, the venues that were being challenged, the aftermarket parts partners that were being challenged with COVID impact, the venues, everything else that we live our passion through. It was really a call to support them on a global basis. And concurrent with that, we launched SCCA Unite, which was really kind of a clarion call for us to rally around our family, the SCCA family, and really a charge to come together to bring all of us together for a common purpose. The common purpose was to meet the objective stated in the BHAG, which was to be a viable operating company on 12/31/20. To get to that point, though, you've got to have great people doing great things consistently in great ways. And so I just want to take a moment to thank all of the folks and SCCA staff. It's probably been the most challenging year for staff in the history of the organization, or at least in recent history. I know that is not any different than how life felt out there in the field in a regional level. So I want to thank everybody for flying in formation and working together. At the end of the day, I know we say, I came for the cars, but I stayed for the people. But the bottom line is this: people fuel the SCCA experience. So I just want to thank everybody for their contributions in fueling that experience this year, because it took all of us doing this to do it well. Very quickly, I also just want to thank the staff. I think as a team, we showed up quickly, we communicated often, remained agile. And I think the team, I'm biased because I'm part of the team and I get the privilege of leading this team. I think they showed up pretty strong and pretty consistently across 2020. So my hat is off to them. My heart and thanks go to them and to all of you as volunteer members, leaders in the organization. A couple of things on the people front I want to share tonight before we kind of go into the next chapter of the strategic framework book, and that is on this topic of people. As I said, people fuel the SCCA experience. I want to take a brief moment to share a couple of promotions within our ranks. First, Courtney Rivers is joining SCCA staff as a full-time employee as of 1/1/21. You have probably seen Courtney's smiling face at track night events across the country. She will be joining us in the capacity of track night program manager. John Hunter, concurrently, another smiling face you've probably seen either on the solo fields or at the time trials field or even at track night events. And John is joining SCCA staff as a full-time employee as of 1/1 as well, in the capacity of time trials national series manager. So we're thankful to have both of those folks. Additionally, Kristen Poole, who is hopefully behind the scenes with Andy Wolf, and Wolf is spelled with an E in case you don't know. They are behind the scenes making this work tonight, and Kristen is being promoted from Senior Manager of Marketing to Director of Marketing Communications effective 1/1, and she will get the profound blessing and opportunity to report directly to me going forward. So I'm excited about that. We're excited about that. She's a tireless worker and a great leader, so we're glad to get her in that position, because I think there's going to be even more good fruit coming from that marketing team going forward. Let's talk about process. I know that doesn't sound real sexy and romantic, but the key to delivering repeatable, scalable experience lies within our processes. And we have made major strides in 2020 improving our membership experience. And I just want to share a couple of metrics with you that I think maybe bear that out. You probably remember, if you joined us in Las Vegas for convention in January, and or if you've heard any of my previous President's updates, or maybe even read something in Sports Car about this, but a key investment over the last 12, 18 months for the organization was focused on improving our membership join, online, and renew process. The team worked really hard and diligently to make this happen. We launched it soft launch in December of last year, full launch in January of this year. It was probably one of the primary areas of focus at the convention this year. So you might say, well, Mike, that was great. You made all that investment. How did that investment pay off? Well, I'll tell you, I think it paid off pretty strongly. This is a quick graph, and this could be a presentation in and of itself, but what this tracks is MAP is Member Account Portal. That's the membership portal that we launched in January. Basically, this tracks January through November national membership receipts over the past 5 years. So you can see that 2016, just for example, we were at 1.7 million January through November in receipts, and in 2020 we're at 2.1 million. So even in a year that is COVID, even in a year when we lost 750 plus events, even in a year when all kinds of, pardon me, hell broke loose, membership receipts are up. It says two things. Number one, it says the heartbeat of this club is still strong. And thank you very much, each and every member out there, for renewing and joining and getting your friends and family to join and renew, because we need your support and we need your dollars to help support the club and grow the club. And it also, I think, is a great reflection of the investment made in the membership account portal, that was time and money well spent. And it helped improve our overall membership experience, and we're seeing the fruit of that. So I think that's a great metric. Concurrent with that, I just provided a snapshot of kind of a 5-year trailing view of membership receipts on a national level. Concurrent with that, marketing has been working on a concurrent brand and voice effort, trying to improve our brand voice, our brand positioning in the marketplace, and trying to drive consistency, a greater level of consistency around that across the last 5 years. And I think that's a great 1-2 punch to really help drive membership, engagement, participation, etc. You might have received a recent communication that maybe looked like something like this in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, which was a last chance to get a Track Night in America gift certificate and a special edition I've Got a Zoom t-shirt. So we're using all of our tools, or more of our tools, facilitated through technology platforms and integrated communications to really kind of improve membership experience going forward. The other thing that we leveraged the enhanced member account portal for is almost a full pivot to doing e-voting versus analog voting. What you might not know is analog voting historically has cost the club tens of thousands of dollars every year to mail out snail mail ballots, postage, handle them, count them, audit them, etc. And we finally got to the point where we could this year go to more of a e-voting platform. And we did that, I think, in the grand scheme of things. Amy Tennis will probably be upset if I get this wrong, but I think in the grand scheme of things, we maybe sent out 40 snail mail ballots, of which probably half of those were returned. But the balance of the voting for Area 3 and Area 4 and the other areas was facilitated through our online experience at e-voting. So that's efficient in terms of time, money, and resources. So thank you for your support in that. Also, I'll just on this slide very quickly say thank you to our current director, Lee Hill, who is terming out on this month. And moving on to greener pastures. We're going to put him to good use in some other areas of the club going forward. And Marcus Meredith, who has served us quite well as a BOD member for Area 4, is moving on. And I'm sure we're going to put Marcus to good use doing even more things going forward. And I'd like to congratulate Lynn Hodges-Watts, who replaces Lee in Area 3, and Dale Frame, who replaces Marcus in Area 4. Both of those folks have already been blessed to go through board orientation and their first board meeting, and we're trying to onboard them, and no rest for the weary. We're on to the races, right? The other thing that you will hear about more when I close, you might have heard about previously that also handshakes with improving our membership experience, and is the partnership that our Net Forum application, which houses our membership account portal, has with Freestone, which is a learning management system software platform that is fully integrated into Net Forum. And so another accomplishment this year, in this crazy year, is recognized on this slide because our new LMS system is up and running inside MAP. We're going to talk about this a little bit more a little later. But the other thing I want to make sure you know about this is Chris Robbins actually filed an application with the FIA this year to get some seed money, to get some grant money to help support our development and deployment of the LMS system. And it wasn't chump change, to the tune of $50,000. So great job, Chris and team. Thank you for getting this up and running. And we look forward to sharing this with the family at large going forward. And we're going to use this tool when we talk about Convention 2021, and I'll share a few thoughts on that in just a second. But let's talk about programs. I know nobody listening to me tonight likes SCCA programs. You'd rather talk about process. You'd rather talk about people. You'd probably rather hear more about me. But I'm going to cut you short on that, and I'm going to pivot to programs. And programs are really, you know, the heartbeat of the enthusiasts inside the club. And I just want to share some quick metrics with you about the experience that we delivered, because one of the objectives was to continue to focus on improving program experiences, just like we're focused on member experience, right? So the bottom line is this: even though 2020 threw nothing at us but curveballs, we managed to improve our overall experience scores with almost every program, starting with this crazy. Look at the wangs on this Miata, would you? I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't know how many square feet of wang this Miata has. All I know is I saw it live at the Rallycross Nationals, and it was hauling the mail. Our likely to recommend rating, which, remember, if you've heard me talk about this before, is kind of our version of Net Promoter Score. I'm not going to go into the methodology now, but really it goes like this. If you get a likely to recommend score of 80%, then that means if you had 10 people who attended the event, 8 out of the 10 people would recommend that event to others, right? So I think that's a pretty good score. Just for quick context, look up Apple's Net Promoter Score, and it's probably in the low 70s. Am I saying we're better than Apple? No, I'm just trying to give you some context and say this is the lowest score we have, and it's still a damn good score. And we're going to continue to work on it until we get it north of 80, maybe 85, maybe 90. Okay, what about road racing? Well, let's take a quick snapshot of the Hoosier Super Tour. Based on experience of the Hoosier Super Tour across 2020, the likely to recommend rating is 88. Fabulous number, fabulous rating. How about the beautiful week or 2 weeks, depending on how long you were there, in the National Park of Speed, Road America, for the SCCA National Championships runoffs? What was the likely to recommend overall experience there? 86%, another solid showing. I don't know who the goofball is on this slide in the middle standing on the stage, but we treat the convention as a national program as well, and we monitor experience scores based on that, and our likely to recommend score out of the 2020 convention was right at 90%. Well, Mike, is it all sunshine? Well, no, this year it wasn't all sunshine. Obviously, we didn't get to have Tire Rack Solo Nationals this year, so I don't have a likely to recommend score. I will tell you this: we're doubling down to make sure that when we get a chance at Baton 21, it's the best program we can deliver for all of the solo participants up there and for the host in Lincoln. So we're already working on that and focused on it. I do have metrics for Pro Solo Tour and for the Champ Tour. Pro Solo Tour came in at 91% likely to recommend, and the Champ Tour came in at 96%, which is, both of those are obviously phenomenal. What about Track Night in America? Track Night in America came in at 96%, but just one other quick data point I want to share with you about Track Night. This year, we hit our 40,000th car/participant milestone. So in 5 years, less than 5 years, we went from 0 participants to 40,000. So the bottom line is the SCCA's helped put more than 40,000 cars on a racetrack. We think that's the easiest way for drivers to participate in motorsports. Obviously, it's a good experience based on that score, and we're going to continue to put the pedal to the floor on this one. Time Trials Tour, Time Trials National Tour came in at 96% as well. And the Time Trials National event, which was held at NCM, it came in at 99%. And you know, you guys might say, yeah, but Hayward's tied to that program. So Mike, there might be some Hayward math in there. This is accurate data. I've seen the survey, and it really was a damn good event, and it really was 99%. So hats off to anybody and everybody who was part of that program, either as a leader, a coach, a driver, a participant, a flagger, a volunteer, you name it. Job well done. Quick shout out to our partners. First off, I want to say thank you to all of our external partners. None of our partners left us this year. In a year when their business was under siege, nobody left us. In fact, one partner who's been a partner with us for 25 years actually renewed with us this year. That partner is Tire Rack. We should all go buy tires at Tire Rack. I mean, they, as well as support all of our other partners. But to renew a contract in the height of what the COVID lockdown was, I mean, that just, To me, it speaks volumes about the integrity and the commitment those folks have to our relationship, and obviously we reciprocate that. The other shout out I want to throw back to our internal partners is to all the regions. We really, I think, worked pretty agile and pretty close with all the regions this year, especially to regions were very forthcoming in sharing their COVID practices. We tried to share our practices that we had, and I think there was a great meeting in the middle of sharing practices to try to make all of our events safer. We're also working with the regions to focus on improving regional programs going forward through the lens of adding, thinking about event integration and regional programs to really try to get to an output of more competition weekends. That's really one of the things we're focusing on. There was a recent event in at Road Atlanta where there was the ARC road race. There was a time trials national tour, and I believe there was a track event, driving event during Sunday quiet hours. So if you want to check with Bob Hudson on that, I think he'd probably say that was a pretty good event. More opportunities like that, so we look forward to working with the regions to explore those more fully across 21. Another partner I want to throw a shout out to is Racer Media and Sports Car for their continued partnership. You probably have seen this championship edition, which focused on a lot of things, but certainly on the Rallycross Nationals, the Time Trial Nationals, and of course the 2020 runoffs at Road America. This is a kind of a vision into the future. We are moving to a bi-monthly publication of Sports Car across 21. So you probably noticed that this edition was a little bit thicker, a little bit meatier, and that's where we're going across 21. So instead of 12 issues, we'll be doing 6 issues. Hopefully they'll be a little bit beefier, a little bit thicker in terms of storylines and content, and focus on members and folks having #fun with cars. So stay tuned for that, more to come. Last but certainly not least, through a partner lens, in June, SCCA Pro entered into an agreement with Morrell Motorsports Holdings. This is Tony Morrell right here. And really the framework of that agreement is that SCCA Pro will continue to sanction both FR and F4 races going forward, providing operational and race management services, with PMH taking over ownership of all commercial aspects of the series under their Speed Tour event brand. So really it's a pivot for SCCA Pro to move from their promoter role to being a sanction body and an operations oversight body, much like we are with Trans Am, which is obviously something we've already partnered with Tony Morrell. So there's a fair amount of experience and equity in that we'll be working with Tony and his team as we pivot that in Q1 of 21. All right, I'm going to try to close down pretty quickly here in terms of performance. So this is really all about stewarding the club effectively in terms of time, money, people, and resources, right, while making sure that we deliver on program and business unit performance. So couldn't resist this beautiful young man. I think this snapshot was captured at the runoffs. You might or might not remember from the convention or from our objectives announced early in the year, but we're really focused on 3 things. 1, growing membership profitably. I think we've demonstrated that we're growing membership. I'm going to tell you about profits in just a second. Delivering on programs to budget while improving overall experience. I think we've already gone through that pretty quickly. Let's talk about financial stewardship across all business lines. If you would have asked me back on March 26th, which was a pretty dark day for us here at the staff office, because we had to furlough folks, let people go, cut salaries, do a bunch of things in service of trying to meet the objective I shared up front, I never would have guessed that we would have landed where I believe we're going to land. My thought is 2020 was definitely a beating, but we are not beaten. Where I believe we're going to land is we're going to land a little bit north of 10x at a net operating income level what we were originally targeted from a budget standpoint. So that's a bunch of language and terminology folks aren't probably used to using. So we'll just use Mike math because I'm from Texas, went to a small school, and I need to keep it simple for myself. So if the target the board gave us was to make $10 at the end of the year using a 10x factor, what is that? It's 100. So I think we're going to do a pretty good job. We are going to come out north of our NOI budget. We haven't borrowed a dime this year, and we're going to start the new year 2021, believe it or not, in a better cash position than we started 2020. Thank you to everybody for your support in making that happen. So as we kind of pivot from 20 to 21, a real quick thought. I actually borrowed this from some art that's hanging in Deanna's office here in Topeka. And this wasn't the image associated with it. I kind of tweaked it a little bit. Hers is much more design centric than mine, which is more car centric. But the quote just spoke to me. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Well, I don't know about you, but I think quite a few of us were challenged this year. And I think quite a few of us, as we work through those challenges personally and professionally, were changed as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to leverage that learning. We're going to leverage our ability to overcome those challenges. And we're going to leverage that, what we've learned through those changes to roll into 2021. And my thought is, I say we stay united as one family, committed to delivering a safe, fun, and exciting experience for enthusiasts. We stand together to unite the fuel, we stand united to fuel the future together. And I think on that board it says, be excellent to each other. That's okay too. That's a great way to keep the community connected. But let's start talking about how we're going to start 2021. Sorry, I'm going too fast. We're going to start with the convention. The convention will be virtual in 2021 for obvious reasons. Primarily tied to COVID. So while we're not able to return to the familiar site of Las Vegas for 21, we are teaming up once again with Hoover, which if you've gone in the last couple of years, you're probably familiar with the app we've used there at the convention to bring you SCCA's first inaugural virtual convention. And really our goal with this is to try to deliver the same great content just through different channels, right? The majority of the schedule is not completely set, but final post date for all details tied to this is January 8th. Registration opened on 12/14, as the slide indicates. There's no cost to register and or attend the virtual convention. So you can go to scca.com to find registration details. And if you can't find registration details on scca.com, forgive me, Rick, you can reach out to Rick Myers or Chris Robbins and they'll help you get connected to those details. So one of the other things that's going to happen is we're going to have the kickoff will happen 1/23, January 23rd. I believe that's a Saturday at 10 a.m. So that'll be, I think, my kickoff for the virtual convention. The Hall of Fame will be that night, and it will kick off at 7 o'clock. And then the annual meeting, which has previously been part of the convention, will be moved to March so that we can make sure that we've got all of our financials done and audited by the time we get there. Okay, so that's kind of a tentative schedule on that. We'll also be using the LMS system that I talked about earlier to help deliver content and development opportunities for folks who participate in that. And if you want to get a test drive of that system, I would say please feel free to reach out to Chris Robbins or Rick Myers to gain access. We've already done our internal testing. There is content already on, member content already on the website to be used and gone through. So they probably appreciate some folks, additional folks taking a test drive with it. Before I hand this over to Eric and Deanna, I just want to kind of pivot to, we talked about 2020. We talked about kind of the start for 21. I just want to take a second to talk about, recognize some folks who are pretty important to this organization. And I'm just going to go through our new Hall of Fame members very quickly. This is not intended to be an immersive introduction to these folks, but I don't want to lose this opportunity to celebrate these Hall of Fame folks who will be more fully celebrated when we get to our virtual convention in January. But let's start with Tom Campbell. Tom has served the SCCA in a variety of capacities at the regional, divisional, and national level, and I think he's done that for both Inc. and Pro. He's a longtime member of the Mohawk-Hudson region, beginning as a competition driver, an engineer by training. He built and maintained a number of championship caliber race cars. He also served 2 terms on the SCCA Board of Directors, including stints as treasurer and chairman. So Tom, congratulations, and we look forward to toasting and roasting you further when we get to the virtual convention in January. John FERGUS. Well, I think you probably already know John is synonymous with SCCA Road Racing Sports 2000 class. He's an Ohio Valley region member. Actually began his SCCA career as an autocrosser, so maybe there's hope for me yet. The difference is, you know, John won multiple solo national championships before starting his road racing career. And then, of course, he's got 7 wins with the SCCA National Championship runoffs, all in Sports 2000. And he only trails 9 others, I believe, in the history of the club with the number of wins he's had at a national level. So, John, congratulations. And again, like Tom, look forward to celebrating you more fully in January. Bruce GEZON becomes the first SCCA Hall of Famer to have built his SCCA legacy primarily in road rally, rather than following in the footsteps of those who also competed in performance rally. Bruce is still competing at 79 years young, and he's believed to have won more SCCA national championships than any other member, and is credited with 43 national championships between 1968 and 2020. And I believe this picture actually came from a great race event that happened a while back. And I think he's driving a 34 Ford, looks like it's a Bonnie and Clyde replica. So Bruce, congratulations, and we look forward to celebrating you more in January. Lloyd Loring. Seldom does an individual contribute to the club in such a way that they start their own worker specialty based on their talents, but this is really the case for South Bend Region's Lloyd Loring. While participating as a successful driver in Porsche 356 and working on South Bend's traveling tech team, Lloyd discovered his skill and his talent and passion for announcing. He served first at local events, then for the division series, and then quickly became the first announcer at Solo Nationals, and is known to this day as the voice of solo. And it's so fun to get to talk to all of these Hall of Fame folks. I get to do this every year. It's probably one of the most fun things I get to do as president and CEO of this great club. But one of his other trademark comments is, I think in his introductions, he used to say, "Are you ready for this?" And I'm sure it was done in a much more powerful way than I just delivered it. So when I got to call Lloyd and his family and tell him he was inducted into the 2021 SCCA Hall of Fame, that's how I started our conversation. "Lloyd, are you ready for this? You made the 21 SCCA Hall of Fame." Last but certainly not least, the Pink Lady, as she's known. From Steel City's region, Donna Mae MIMS established herself as a formidable competitor in sports car racing and is an active participant in region activities and leadership before becoming the first woman to win an SCCA Road Racing National Championship in '63. Though she was known as a Chevy fanatic, she won her 1963 championship in an Ace production pink Bug-Eye Sprite. She was also a licensed grid worker, a member of the region's board of directors, a driving instructor, and editor of the award-winning region magazine Drift. So congratulations to the MIMS family, and we look forward to diving deeper into recognizing Donna Mae MIMS in January as well. 2 things to close out, and then we're going to take a brief break for a video while we reset the SCCA studio for our awards presentation. First off, I would be remiss if I didn't stop and celebrate Howard Duncan, a staff leader for more than 30 years. Just this December, Howard celebrated his 30th service anniversary with the SCCA as a staff member. We blessed him with this little caricature cartoon, if you don't know Howard, but if you've ever been to an SCCA solo event, Solo Nationals, Pro Solo event, etc., tour event, you might have seen him peeling around town on this little scooter. And yep, that's the way he rolls, and he rolls pretty quickly, and he's done a fabulous job, and he's added a ton of value to this organization over his 30 years. So Howard, thank you very much for your many contributions. And last, certainly not least, I want to thank our outgoing chairman of the board, Mr. Lee Hill, as celebrated in this great cartoon. Lee's done, I think, a fabulous job of helping keep everybody aligned and moving us forward through some tumultuous times. If you see Lee in the near future, you might ask him what he did to his car. I don't know why there's a Band-Aid on it, but there's probably a story tied to that I don't have time to share with you now, but I'm sure it was on Lee's watch and not a co-driver's watch or something like that. So let me just close with this. I just want to stop and thank you. Yes, this is a shot of folks who are not wearing masks, who are not socially distanced, but I put it in here because I hope to return to this kind of environment. Hold it, we are returning to this environment. That's from Indy 2017, and that's where we're going in 21. So thank you again for your support as members, as drivers, as leaders, as volunteers, as partners in this thing we call the Sports Car Club of America. We appreciate it. Now we're going to close this, run a video of the SCCA National Championship runoffs while we reset the set. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Good evening, everybody. It's time to start the awards presentation. We have the 2020 Road Racing Awards for the Sports Car Club of America. I get the pleasure of starting with the Mechanic of the Year. The SCCA Mechanic of the Year is chosen by the SCCA Road Racing technical staff and the Club Racing Board based on submissions submitted by the membership. This award is presented to someone that demonstrates a strong commitment to their craft and to the drivers that they support. This year's recipient has been described as a mentor, an educator, and a leader who is passionate, conscientious, and humble. He is extremely knowledgeable and shares that knowledge freely with those around him, playing an active part in the experience and success of the drivers he supports. While he takes his work seriously, focusing on safety, being organized and thorough, he's a lot of fun to be around as well. He's always smiling, cracking a joke, or ready for a fist bump. This year's recipient has been part of Advanced Autosports family for years. In 2018, the team experienced their most difficult year with the loss of both Ann O'Malley and then Dave Wheeler. But our recipient stepped up to make sure that he did his part to keep the team going with exceptional service and care. His love of people, passion, and his work, and his unwavering ability to make the impossible possible on any given race weekend exemplifies what it means to be the Mechanic of the Year. We are pleased to present the 2020 SCCA Mechanic of the Year to Bob Pizarnik of the Chicago region. And now, for the first time ever, we would like to welcome Bob and join us via the magic of Zoom. Bob, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very appreciative for this. I would like to give thanks to my wife, my family, sisters. They're all around me, make me very nervous right now. Also to Dave and Ann, giving me a chance 13 years ago, hiring me. I love them to death. God rest their souls. And to my advanced family, Ben and Michelle, Dalton, Patty, Marshall, Tim, everyone, thank you. And everyone else out there, thank you very much for this.
Congratulations again, Bob. Our next award tonight is the David Morrell Memorial Award. The David Morrell Memorial Award is presented to encourage continued participation in the Stewards Program by recognizing an active steward who has exhibited outstanding performance and dedication to the sport and its highest principles. The winner is selected by the chairman of the stewards and the executive stewards. This year, we present this award to the 40th recipient, who will join a group of outstanding stewards who have previously received the award, including Casey Van Nyman, Sue Rathal, Charlie Earwood, John Bornholt, Ken Patterson, Costa Dunius, Jim Averett, Dennis Steen, and last year's recipient, James Boyle. The 2020 David Morrell Award recipient has been a member since 1971 and began with the emergency services crew before joining the Stewards Program, and we are happy he did. He has served in many steward positions, including Assistant Chief Steward of Safety at the runoffs. He has served as the Midwest Division Executive Steward, as well as a member of the Steward Training and Development Committee. He worked as editor of the Steward's Note electronic newsletter and was a key contributor to the development of the Safety Steward Training Guidelines. The chairman of the stewards, along with the executive stewards, would like to specifically recognize this year's recipient's dedication and hard work in developing a steward and training program for the runoffs. Over the years, he's been improving and perfecting his training program. He has successfully guided numerous SITs and new stewards through the program, and the stewards that have participated in it have had high praise for the program and their experience. This year's David Morrell Memorial Award goes to Dan Miklovic of the Northwest region. And joining us via Zoom is Dan. Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you, Deanna. There's so many people to thank, including, obviously all of the executive stewards and Jim Rogaski for the award. And my wife, who is the reason I go to the racetrack, because that's where we met some 46 years ago. But I also need to thank people like John Martinson and Glenn Wilhelm and Ken Jones from the Northwest region, who recruited me into the stewards program 20 years ago. People like, I wish I could thank Jim Everett personally. I wish he were still here to do that, because he is the one who encouraged me to be more than just a steward who goes and works the races, but to do all other things like steward's notes and the steward training program and things like that. Also, Ken Patterson, who taught me to be a race director, where I served as race director in the Mid-States Conference for 3 years. So I thank all of those people, and I look forward to working with them going forward. Thanks.
Congratulations again, Dan. Deanna and I are now going to present the John McGill Award. The John McGill Award is presented annually in recognition for significant contributions to the road racing program. The winner is chosen by the Club Racing Board and the head of the road racing department.
The award is named after Hall of Famer John McGill, the former general overall director of Nelson Ledges Road Course in Ohio. In a time where pro tracks like Mid-Ohio and Road America were only used a few times each year, McGill involved SCCA members not only on race weekends, but for general maintenance at the facility. With 5 regions and 2 divisions using the track, SCCA members felt as if they were owners rather than customers of the track.
In the same spirit, 2020 was a year that needed a group effort and for people to step into roles and perform tasks that they'd never previously done. To put events on during a worldwide pandemic was no small task. From working with local municipalities and track management to managing social distancing procedures and keeping large amounts of PPE on hand, the idea of keeping people safe took on a new meaning at SCCA events.
In a non-traditional year, we have a non-traditional recipient for the 2020 John McGill Award. While traditionally going to an individual, this year it is more appropriate to recognize a group of individuals, the regions, that moved in an agile fashion, oftentimes reinventing the way they conducted events to keep people racing, providing an island of normalcy in a sea of abnormality. We salute those regions holding events from March through November as the recipients of the 2020 John McGill Award.
Those regions and race groups include Alabama region, the Ark Valley Race Group, including Wichita, Oklahoma, and Neokla regions, Atlanta region, Black Hawk Valley region, Buccaneer region,
California Sports Car Club, Central Florida region, Chicago region, Colorado region, Continental Divide region,
Detroit region, Florida region, Houston region, the Kaw Valley Race Group, including Kansas and Kansas City regions, Land O'Lakes region,
Lone Star region, Milwaukee region, Ohio region, New England region, North Carolina region,
Northwest region, Ohio Valley region, Oregon region, San Francisco region, and South Bend region,
South Jersey region, the Southeast Division, Southern Illinois region, St. Louis region, Steel Cities region,
Tennessee Valley region, Texas region, Washington, D.C. region, and Western Michigan region. Thank you all for your hard work in 2020. Congratulations on a job well done. And now we're going to set change.
Our next award this evening is the Kimberly Cup. Named after Jim Kimberly, former president and governor of SCCA, the Kimberly Cup is awarded to the SCCA driver showing the most improvement in the last year. Selected by the Club Racing Board, recipients include notables such as Mark Donahue, Roger Penske, Peter Revson, Richard and Keith Grant, Lisa Noble, and last year's recipient, John Hainsworth. This year's recipient became a member at the age of 7 and grew up at the racetrack in a true SCCA family. A first runoffs appearance in 2005 led to 8 total runoff starts prior to this year, with a best finish of 5th place. In 2019, a huge crash at VIR sent this driver to the hospital and set the stage for a comeback here in 2020. After starting 7th in a talented American sedan field, this driver showed tremendous grit, methodically moving up through the field and ultimately positioning herself for a thrilling last lap, last turn pass for 3rd position and her very first runoffs podium finish. The 2020 Kimberly Cup is awarded to Amy Aquilani of the Philadelphia region. We are now joined by Amy via Zoom. Congratulations, Amy.
I just wanted to start by thanking the whole Tom Aquilani Racing family. I couldn't have been here without them. My dad, Tom, my mom, Mary Jo, my sister, Beth. We've been doing this for as long as I can remember. Since we were kids at the track, we'd follow my dad around cheering him on in American sedans. To get to be out there is really an honor. And also thanking my uncle, Joe, my cousin, Andrew, one of our crew guys, Rob Bone, for coming around the country with us. And of course, I can't forget my husband, Kurt. He drives me to be better all the time. He's been behind me since we started. He helped me build the car, a new car, and get it on track so that way we could fight for what we lost last year. And he's always pushing me, teaching me, coaching me, and I couldn't be here without him. And thanks to all SCCA for getting us out on the track this year. It really was uplifting for everything we've been going through. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Amy. The Jim Fitzgerald Rookie of the Year Award is presented to the road racing driver showing the greatest promise as evidenced by driving performance. The award recipient is selected by the Club Racing Board based on nominations submitted by executive stewards. The Jim Fitzgerald Rookie of the Year was first presented in 1987 and includes past recipients such as Mark Dismore, Eric Curran, Sean Rahal, and Bobby Sack. Despite obtaining his SCCA racing license just last year, this 20-year-old had considerable karting experience before moving into cars over the last several years. His first full year of racing within SCCA Road Racing and SCCA Pro Racing produced spectacular results. Already committed to a full Formula Race Promotions F1600 Championship Series, this driver found time to get qualified in both Formula F and Formula Continental for the runoffs. After starting from the tire rack pole and being in the thick of a thrilling race-long 6-way battle for the lead, he came out on top of the Formula F race. Later in the day, he added silver to his gold, finishing runner-up in the Formula Continental race. A few weeks later, he added the F1600 Pro Championship to his 2020 racing resume, an outstanding accomplishment for any driver, further amplified by doing it as a rookie. The 2020 Jim Fitzgerald Rookie of the Year for SCCA is Simon Sykes of the Atlanta region. Simon, congratulations. Welcome via Zoom. Excellent job.
Thank you very much. Honestly, just listening to the names that have been listed as Rookie of the Year, it's a great crowd to join. I know plenty of those names, Sean Rahal, Mark Dismore, and so really glad to join them as a Rookie of the Year in the SCCA. Had a great year. I can't thank SCCA enough for putting on such a great event at the runoffs. Had a blast all week, and really thrilled to be named Rookie of the Year. I can't thank Greg Rice enough for putting great cars on the track at the runoffs for me, and everything he's done to support me as well as my parents, and really just honored to be here. Thank you.
All right, I'm privileged to present the 2020 SCCA President's Cup. The President's Cup is presented annually after the National Championship runoffs to the driver demonstrating ability, competitiveness, and success at the National Championship runoffs. The winner is selected by the stewards of the meet, the runoffs race director, the head of road racing, and the president of the SCCA. And the inaugural presentation of the President's Cup in 1954 was performed by U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower himself. Past recipients of the President's Cup include Hall of Famers like Roger Penske, Skip Barber, Bobby Rahal, Paul Newman, Dave Weitzenhoff, and Kat Kaiser, with a modern group of legends including John Heinricke, Andrew Aquilani, Jim Drago, and last year's recipient, Clay Russell. Let's take a look at this year's recipient at work at the 2020 runoffs at Road America.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Road America and the 57th Annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs here in Spec Miata. We've got 75 total entries. It's going to be a slugfest to settle this national championship. Here comes the field, waiting for the green flag, already locking bumpers. Green flag flies. The race is on for Spec Miata. And that's going to allow this front group of 4, 5, maybe 6 cars to make an escape. And big contact back in the pass.
That's Chris Haldeman.
And Jim Drago involved as well. 2 heavy hitters.
And to watch Partis barely sneak out of there.
Preston Partis, also part of that East Street team. And he's coming, so hopes Burris, to come help the effort at the front of the field. Already a lot of bump drafting going on. That defensive line down by the pit wall as well. This is how it's going to be for 13 laps. 3 wide here with that group heading into the carousel under the Speedville Bridge.
Partis on the inside of Gagliardo. Gagliardo, he's one of the ones who wants to hold him off, but Partis was having none of that.
This changes everything. Double yellow. So that erases the advantage that the top 4 had built. Here comes the pole sitter Greenhill getting to the inside. Challenging for the lead, and there is contact. Off they go. Oh my goodness.
Keep
the
your eye on
drama here.
Partis is watching him right on this because now he's just cat bird seat. He's ready to pounce.
Pardis started this lap in 7th. He is up to 3rd. Remember, he's got a date with the NASCAR Xfinity Series tomorrow. Really crafty stuff from Preston Pardis, but it's side by side for the lead in front of him. Which one does he follow? Side by side through Canada Corner. Wild ride off the track from Brown. He's able to reel it back in, and Pardis through the grass. Hangs it on the outside through Billy Mitchell Bend. It's going to be side by side through 14, and then the drag race up the hill. Preston Pardis in the 42. The 07 is Tyler Brown. Through the final corner and up the hill they come. Where is the drafting help going to come from? Where will that materialize? It's behind Preston Pardis. Has not led a lap all day, but he leads the one that counts. Give the Spec Miata Championship to Preston Pardis. Preston Pardis, for the second time in his SCCA runoffs career, is a national champion in Spec Miata.
It's great. It's great every time I watch it, Preston. So as the video revealed, the 2020 recipient of the President's Cup is Preston Pardis of Central Florida region. So as part of the award, Preston will receive a letter signed by the living presidents of the SCCA. And I'd like to take a second to read that to you real quickly. It goes like this. Dear Preston, congratulations on winning the 2020 Sports Car Club of America's President Cup, the highest honor for an SCCA runoffs driver. This 2020 Spec Miata National Championship race was the largest ever in runoffs history, with 77 drivers taking the green. Paired with your 2017 win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, in Spec Miata, you've now topped the 2 largest fields ever at the runoffs, which cements your place in SCCA history. As the video showed, starting at 8th on the grid, you'd fallen to 15th before finishing the first lap in 13th. And after a couple of laps, you rode in the bottom of the top 10 while others shuffled in pack ahead of you. But as the white flag flew, signifying the last lap, you rode shotgun on a 7-car train for the lead, and entering turn 5, you moved to 6th. By turn 6, you'd moved to 3rd, setting up an opportunity to plan your move to the lead. And as the 2 leaders came out of Canada Corner side by side, you made it 3 wide on the outside going into Billy Mitchell Bend, finally nosing into the lead in turn 14 for the run up the hill to win by a thrilling 79 thousandths of a second and winning your 2nd national championship. Every name on the President's Cup tells a tremendous story of achievement. The list of names is legendary within the SCCA and across the broader spectrum of motorsports. Preston, your name is now on that list, and you certainly deserve to be there. Congratulations on your accomplishments. We're now joined by Preston, AKA P Money, via Zoom. Preston.
Hey, you guys got me? I think I had some technical issues there, but thank you guys for this award. It means a lot. Looking back at the list of past winners, it means a lot. It humbles you quite a bit. Like you said, Jim Drago, he won the award in the past, so, and he's a good friend of mine. Let me see my little speech here. But like I said, I'm humbled to get this award. And also I want to thank the SCCA for what they did in 2020. It was a tough year with everything that happened in COVID-19. With that being said, SCCA opened back up and allowed us to do the runoffs. I know it wasn't an easy feat with the staff to get the event going, but couldn't thank you guys enough. It was a good escape. Couldn't thank my parents, my family, that everyone backs my racing. East Street Racing for getting me to the racetrack. Todd and Jim, they're the best teammates out there. And we have as much fun on the racetrack as we do off. So I couldn't thank them enough. Mike, Jeff, Richard, everyone a part of the team. And also Moss Motorsports, Hoosier Racing Tire, for giving Spec Miata a great platform to race on. It's a perfect class for club racing. Also with fantastic racing throughout the race and an incredible community off the track. Thanks again for this prestigious award, and I hope everyone has a great holiday season and everyone stays safe.
Thanks, Preston. Congratulations again. Great job. Finally, this evening, we'd like to make a special announcement that we know a lot of people have been waiting for. the location of the SCCA National Championship runoffs following the 2021 edition at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tonight, we are pleased to announce that both the 2022 and 2023 runoffs will be held at Virginia International Raceway. When the decision was made in January to focus on 2-year cycles for runoff sites, there was one clear choice for the first stop. Based on outstanding participant response to the 2019 runoffs at VIR and the excellent relationship developed between the track and SCCA staffs, VIR was selected for the first multi-year stint in nearly a decade. We're really looking forward to our return to one of SCCA's favorite tracks in the country. I am pleased to welcome tonight Kerrigan Smith, President and COO of Virginia International Raceway. Kerrigan, nice to see you. Great to make this announcement with you.
Nice to be seen, and how excited are we? I mean, this is amazing. We didn't know what we were getting into in 2019, and then once we've had one behind us now, we're all really excited because we know what to expect, and it was just an amazing event for us.
So, Kerrigan, hosting the runoffs, as you mentioned, is a really daunting task, certainly for the first time you're ever, as you did in 2019. How will that experience from 2019 play into planning for the upcoming events?
So we have looked at, and knowing a little bit ahead of time that we were having this event, when we've looked at a lot of our projects and capital expenditures, we've been looking at different things that we've wanted to do to enhance the experience for the fans, to enhance the experience for the SCCA participants. When you get there, hopefully you'll see a couple of new things. We're just, you know, we have time to plan and we have time to grow and to make it better. So again, we're very honored that we got chosen to take this. I think it's the first time in 10 years somebody's had it back to back. So it's a big job, and I feel we're willing and ready for it.
Well, we're certainly excited to apply our shared experience and knowledge to continue to make the runoffs a one-of-a-kind experience for everybody. So the dates are set with the race weekend running September 30th to October 2nd, 2022, and then September 29th through October 1st, 2023. An announcement will be posted with all the pertinent information at scca.com. Thank you, Kerrigan, for joining us for this exciting announcement tonight. It's great to see you, and we look forward to working with you again.
Thank you for choosing us. It really means a lot. Thank you for choosing VIR. We will deliver.
All right, I'm sure you will. Thank you, Kerrigan. And I would like to bring Mike back up to close out this evening's festivities.
Great. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Kerrigan. Well, I'll be brief, bright, and gone. Team, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know it's the holiday season and there's a lot of demands on your time. When I had the privilege of joining this club back in 2017, I think I shared this with some of you. An RE that I really respected told me, Mike, if you want to be successful in this job, you and staff, you need to really focus on considering, communicating, to which I added a third C, and that was collaborating. And I can tell you, in my humble opinion, I think 2020 has been a case study of us doing all three of those things together. We had plenty of challenges. I believe we met those challenges. I believe in the majority of those situations, we exceeded delivery on those challenges. That's not about me. It's not about staff. It's about us as a family. We're privileged and honored to be part of that family, and we're thankful to serve you. So in closing, I wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Kickin' Kwanzaa, or a fabulous Festivus, whatever you celebrate. And we look forward to seeing you in January at a racetrack, an SCCA event. Thank you so much. Godspeed. God bless. Take care.